What is biblical archaeology? What are its benefits? What are its limitations? And why is it worth your precious time to study it? I'll answer these questions and more on this edition of the Faith Affirming Findings podcast.
Welcome to Faith Affirming Findings, a podcast dedicated to sharing with you
the incredible discoveries from the field of biblical archaeology.
These findings will strengthen your faith, affirm the historicity of Scripture, and provide you with unique insights into the culture and background of the Bible.
Now, here is your host, Associate Professor of Bible Exposition at Dallas Theological Seminary,
Dr. Paul Weaver.
Whenever you begin a new study, it's wise to start by defining your terms. So let's begin with the basics. What is biblical archaeology? Archaeology is a discipline of study that seeks to reveal the history and culture of ancient civilizations by discovering, analyzing, and interpreting the remains of those civilizations. The focus of study is on ancient writings, ancient sites, and ancient artifacts. Now, biblical archaeology is a subdiscipline within the field of archaeology that seeks to discover, analyze, and interpret ancient texts, sites, and artifacts that relate to the Bible. So while an archaeologist would study all the remains of all ancient cities, a biblical archaeologist would be primarily interested in biblical sites. While a general archaeologist might study all of Corinth's history, a biblical archaeologist focuses on the era when Paul visited there, preached there, planted a church there, and later wrote 2 inspired letters to believers who lived there. That's where this project comes in. I wrote Faith Affirming Findings, published by 𝐟𝐸𝐫 Publishing, and I created these corresponding videos to walk you through 50 archaeological discoveries that powerfully affirm the historicity and reliability of Scripture. What are all the benefits of studying biblical archaeology? Well, let me share with you 5 powerful ways biblical archaeology helps us as students of the Bible. First, biblical archaeology provides a better understanding of the culture and historical setting of the Bible, from Jewish weddings to Roman crucifixion practices. Archaeology brings the world of the Bible into 5K focus. Second, biblical archaeology provides knowledge about people in the Bible, like Herod the Great, Caiaphas, and Pontius Pilate, helping us better understand them in their historical context. Third, biblical archaeology provides us with knowledge about places mentioned in the Bible, cities like Jericho, Ephesus, Laodicea, and Jerusalem. Fourth, biblical archaeology provides knowledge about things and events discussed in the Bible, from first-century fishing boats to ancient military campaigns to the very judgment seat where Paul stood before Gallio. But here's what excites me most. Fifth, and finally, biblical archaeology affirms the historicity and reliability of Scripture. Discovery after discovery powerfully demonstrates that the Bible and the biblical writers got the details right about kings, cities, customs, and conflicts. These findings don't replace faith, but they strengthen it. As William Albright, often called the father of biblical archaeology, once said, "The excessive skepticism shown toward the Bible has been progressively discredited. Discovery after discovery has established the accuracy of innumerable details and has brought increased recognition to the value of the Bible as a source of history." Now, let's be honest. Biblical archaeology does have its limits. Even if every person, every place, and every event in Scripture could be confirmed by the archaeological record, we still wouldn't be able to prove theological truths like the deity of Christ or the substitutionary atonement. Faith still matters, but it's a reasonable faith based on the most reliable historical document from the ancient world. And if we can trust the historical reliability of Scripture, we can trust what it says theologically as well. Of course, not everyone agrees on how to approach the archaeological record. There are two major approaches to biblical archaeology. There are what we might call the minimalists and maximalists. Minimalists will only accept details in the Bible as historically reliable if and when sources outside the Bible confirm them. They're skeptical, often assuming the Bible is guilty until proven innocent, guilty of errors, exaggerations, and fabrications. Maximalists, on the other hand, believe that the Bible is historically reliable, accepting the maximum amount of content recorded in the Bible. And we recognize that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Just because we don't have a stone with Abraham's name on it does not indicate that Abraham never existed. As one scholar put it, in the final analysis, it must be remembered that the Bible itself is our finest example of an archaeological document. The Bible represents the most complete literary record we possess of ancient times, surviving in one form or another since its first books were penned by Moses some 3,400 years ago. It remains the most accurate and trustworthy account of antiquity in the archaeological record. In my book, Faith Affirming Findings, and in these 50 accompanying videos, I've collected what I believe are the 50 most important discoveries that every pastor, every teacher, and every Bible student should know. The chapters in my book, Faith Affirming Findings, include the following components: a list of key Bible passages related to the corresponding discoveries, color pictures of the artifacts and sites, the fascinating stories of the discoveries of the artifacts and sites, a detailed description of the artifacts and sites, the biblical significance of these discoveries, a list of resources for continued study, and seventh and finally, QR codes to 6 to 8 minute videos like this one to help you visualize the artifacts and sites. The book also has appendices, which include the various museums where you can find these artifacts, a scripture index of all the passages cited and on what pages they are cited that will help you as you teach and preach through these passages, and a glossary defining the most important terms. I pray that you will find this resource beneficial. If you are a maximalist like me, my prayer is that these discoveries will deepen your confidence in the historicity and reliability of Scripture, because the more we uncover, the more we see that the biblical authors are right and the critics are wrong. Nelson Glueck, famous archaeologist and former president of Hebrew Union College, stated the following regarding the Hebrew Bible, but it still stands true today. And I quote, "It may be stated categorically that no archaeological discovery has ever controverted a biblical reference. Scores of archaeological findings have been made which confirm in clear outline or exact detail historical statements in the Bible. And, by the same token, proper evaluation of biblical descriptions has often led to amazing discoveries." Now, if you are a minimalist, a skeptic, I challenge you, just follow the evidence wherever it leads. I appreciate how David Wolfe describes the posture of a truth seeker. And I quote, "The one who is sure he is right invites it, inspection. It only illuminates the strength of beliefs and makes them more available to others. On the other hand, if in the process of inspecting the legitimacy of those beliefs, we recognize that we are wrong, the discovery of error is a genuine advance, not a loss of faith." And as C.S. Lewis wisely wrote, and I quote, "We all want progress. If you are on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. And in that case, the man who turns back soonest is the most progressive man." Let us be committed to truth wherever it leads, even if it causes us to make a course correction. If the pursuit of truth is our aim, and I hope it is, a discovery of error is a genuine advance. If you're skeptical, I challenge you, follow the evidence wherever it leads. You might just find yourself on a course correction toward truth. Let the excavations begin.
Faith Affirming Findings podcast is a listener-supported podcast devoted to affirming your faith in the reliability of Scripture and illuminating your understanding of Scripture.
If you would like to help sponsor the Faith Affirming Finding podcast,
You can make a tax-deductible donation of any amount, large or small.
At faithaffirmingfindings.com. That's faithaffirmingfindings.com and click on the Give tab.
We hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting Faith Affirming Finding.